How do I stay sane in life? Do it by staying productive. And people don't like hear necessarily from someone like myself who likes to stay productive because we tend to sound like workaholics. And of course, that's the criticism that we receive. And granted, my hours do kind of fit that description for the most part. I work sometimes on average 90 to 100 hours oftentimes. I'm in that season of life right now, just where I am geographically and whatnot. That's, I'm not going to spend that time doing other things. So, that's just the investment I'm making now in light of where I am and the outcome and the results that I want to see. But, that's an attitude of output. That's an attitude of productivity. And I've had discussions with myself about this, right? And that's, important for you to do, which is have a discussion, have a meeting regularly with yourself about what we're going to get done, what you're going to accomplish. Any real productive, profitable company does that. They have meetings where they talk about proven results. I mentioned in the last episode that I work with another coaching group, good friend of mine, and they have a lot of meetings. And, I'm just like anybody else. I could do without the meetings, but there is a wisdom to it because you want to see what's being done. You want to see what's being accomplished. You want to make sure, a boss especially wants to make sure that everybody's being productive, that the goals are being reached, that the objectives are being accomplished. We want to make sure there's productivity. So you're going to have to meet with yourself. Get out the pad and pen, get out the whiteboard, start writing down desired results. Doesn't matter what they are. The issue is getting yourself renewed and rewired and transformed in your thinking, that you start to think like an executive producer, someone who produces results. And that's something for me. I've always used it as a description for what I would say is my ultimate gifting. And that is to be an executive producer. You might think of a Jerry Bruckheimer or a Quincy Jones, something like that, a producer. In other words, I get very animated, my gifts get activated when I see someone or a group or something where there's a good idea and I know that I could help it produce the results that it wants. That really motivates me. That really activates me. In fact, that's how I got hooked up with the group that I just mentioned. I do the same thing with another friend of mine who does the University of Badassery podcast with me. They're just things that I get attracted to because I know that that what's missing in the equation is the producer's role. The one who steps in and says, okay, there's a lot of talent here. There's a great idea here, still in raw form. We need some other players in place. We need some other talent in here. We need a plan. We need some, objectives that we're going to reach for. And this is the desired outcomes that we want. And this is how we're all going to get it done. This is how it's going to get achieved. That's a producer, right? Just like a TV show. You see, the producer is like one of the most important names listed in a TV show or movie, right alongside the director and who wrote it. Writer, director, and producer. You can't do without them. Why? Because the producer is the one who makes it happen. The director is not the one who's going to, call all the casting agents and the art directors and the set designers and the distributors and all of that stuff. It's the producer who does all that. The producer has the big project in mind and says, okay, this is everything that's needed. And that producer sees the writer and the director as just two components. Ultimately, the one in charge is the producer. That's the one who's ultimately in charge. That's why talent, when I say talent, the musician, artist, that sort of thing, talent will submit themselves to a producer, right? If you've seen, for example, the Metallica film, Some Kind of Monster, when they were recording their Saint Anger album, a lot of the interaction with the band is with the producer, Bob Rock. And as you can see, many instances where they're basically doing what Bob Rock is telling them to do. Well, isn't it their music, their album? Sure it is. but they know they need that objective opinion, that objective oversight, someone who knows how to produce the desired results. Again, for your life, you've got to meet with your producer, and that is you. You are the one who's got to be resourceful. You are the one who's got to know how to put the elements together, put the plan together, determine what the deadlines are, what the desired outcome is, and then set a plan together that you can take action on right away. Because the more you let a plan sit there, the more you let things just remain static and in neutral, the harder it is to get that project underway. You need to do, even if it's just little actions, just do something to get them started. Do something to get things in motion, because that's what helps to create momentum. And you need momentum in life to produce results. Hard to steer a car that's parked, right? So let's get that thing moving. So have that meeting with yourself. Sit down with yourself, get the pad out, make some plans, set some goals, choose the different areas of your life, write out a list of everything that you want to see accomplished, get a small plan together, start taking action steps right away. Can you dig it? I hope you can.